Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while. I appreciate your patience with these videos. Some of you may have seen I was in Thailand for nearly a month. I hope you enjoyed the vlogs if you had some time to check that out. And I am starting to get back into the flow of things and have been feeling inclined to do a reading. So that's why we're here today. Before I jump into the cards, some quick announcements because there is a lot going on. Egypt is happening in November. I have 3 early bird spots left if you're interested in joining us for that retreat. Some of you also know that I was in Thailand initially to lead my second international retreat, so you can also see what that looks like in the recap video on my channel. Egypt is obviously a different location, a different vibe, different itinerary. The link to learn more about what we have in store for that trip is below if you're interested in learning more about that. All you need is a 25% deposit to hold your spot. So again, 3 early bird spots are left, and we're going this November. Now, aside from traveling, I have been feeling a creative burst and came up with some new offerings for you guys that I'm really excited to share. A lot of them are ebooks that I put together. You guys know that or maybe you don't know, now you will. I am a very big fan of shadow work. It's what I do the most with my clients. It's what I love to focus on because that's where I feel true liberation hides. And so when you become more aware of your shadow, that is when you become more whole and integrated and able to live a fully authentic life. And there's a lot of power in that. So I like to focus on shadow work. And so with that said, I already have my Deconstructing Shadow Work ebook and my Astro Basics ebook on my website for people who are interested in that. And I just added 2 more ebooks, The Shadow of the Chakras, which explains what the shadow in each of the chakras or energy centers in your body can look like. It's also when an energy center is deficient or it's just not balanced. It gives you an idea of how that can manifest in your life, as well as the shadow of the celestial bodies. If you're interested in learning the shadow side of each of the celestial bodies that we use in astrology readings. So, if you're interested in that, links are all below. And last but certainly not least, I've also decided to add a mini version of my shadow chart readings. So, for those who don't know, I also conduct shadow chart readings for those who are interested. What that looks like is a one-on-one Zoom or recorded video where I look at your birth chart and we talk about the shadow aspects, traits, and patterns that show up in your birth chart so that you can gain more awareness of some of the unconscious patterns that you may be participating in. Now, I understand that's not for everybody. However, if you're interested but not sure if you want to fully dive in, I wanted to create something that would sort of bridge that gap. So I am offering these PDF shadow traits in your birth chart where it is a more generalized, minimized version of some of the shadow patterns that show up based on the signs that you have in your chart without going too deep, obviously. So this is a smaller price point and a more informal way to dip your toes into the shadow patterns that are showing up in your chart. And again, all the info on that is below in the description. Now, let's dive into this reading. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to focus on for this reading, and honestly, I think I just want to structure this in a way that I would structure a one-on-one so that you can also gain an idea of what a one-on-one reading would look like with me. It is generalized in the sense that obviously this is a collective reading, so use your discernment. If it doesn't feel like it's for you, then by all means, throw it away. Don't feel inclined to watch or keep watching, but just understand that you can only take in what really feels aligned for you. That is your power by using your discernment. Also, with generalized readings, I try to touch on all the big sort of areas of life after getting a general sense of what's going on. So you'll see that play out right now. All right, as always, let's take some deep breaths to ground our energy. Palms down to ground, palms up to receive. You can decide what you need at this time. If you want to close your eyes with me, feel free to do so. And we'll just take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth in your own pace. All right. I already feel my nose getting a little runny. Of course, I don't have any tissue here. All right. Well, we're just gonna do a little cute dab and move on. Okay. Let's get started. Generally, it feels like major transitions are in the air. You might be feeling that already. If this is the energy that you're in right now, there are big changes coming. If you are someone who is astrologically inclined, then you know that Aries season marked the new year. So you may be feeling that new energy, and there's this palpable sense that it's like something's right around the corner, and you may not know what that is. There's true uncertainty here. And yet there's also this trust and surrender in knowing that whatever it is will be revealed to you when the time is right. And so for some of you too, this may be where you're able to really see your growth, especially if uncertainty is something that you've struggled with in the past, or you're someone who really loves control. You may be finding that you're not freaking out as much as you normally would in this situation, in the sense that you're not sure what to do. And instead of trying to fill in the blanks with your own limited perspective, you're allowing yourself to wait and see and allow the guidance to come to you before you take that next step. So that is a sign of growth. These cards are all over the place. So you may be all over the place as well. Yeah, it's just this sense of not really knowing what to do next. And that's okay. I don't think you're meant to know what to do next until you get the guidance. And I feel like that guidance is going to look different for everybody. Okay. Let's let's rearrange a little bit here. All right. Spirit, please use these cards to deliver a divine message for someone watching this video at this time. Please call on their angels, their ancestors of the highest order, their guides, guardians, higher self, and inner child to help with this reading. Please call on my spirit team to shield and protect me as I channel this reading clearly, concisely, and objectively. All right, what is the current energy of this person watching who needs this message at this time? Please and thank you. All right, which way are you trying to go? Reversed. Okay. Oh, see, I literally just said this. Eight of Swords in reverse. Surrender. You're someone who has finally found the freedom in not knowing. I think in the past you may have misinterpreted that freedom is having all the answers, and what you're realizing is it's a very unrealistic expectation to have of yourself. And actually, freedom is being able to still remain cool, calm, and collected, and have faith when you don't have all the answers. There is some sort of new awareness that you have recently come to. This may have been a new awareness about yourself, about your habits that have been blocking you from moving forward, and we'll look into that in a second. There is something about insight or clarity that came to mind for you that is allowing you to sort of release your grip and control of life and surrender in this way. There's also this sense of liberation coming through here, especially from your mind. You may have been dealing with a lot of limiting beliefs and assumptions in the past. Your mind may have been your hidden enemy for a long time. That may have been the awareness that you came to, the fact that it was actually you that was really stopping yourself from showing up in the world, from experiencing the relationships, the jobs, the just life that you wanted. There's also this sense of you facing a lot of fears lately. You may be more inclined to sort of just find out instead of talking yourself out of things that you want to move towards. So this is really great energy. There's also Gemini Jupiter energy here, so that may be significant for someone watching. It doesn't have to be, but again, this is you realizing that you had created a sort of self-inflicted prison in your thoughts. And you realize that the only person who could come and save you from that was you. It was really between you and your mind. You have a very strong mind, which is a beautiful thing. However, it was working against you for a lot of the time. There may have been a lot of feelings of victim mentality, powerlessness, feeling trapped, feeling very helpless in some way. But again, it was all an illusion. It was some sort of, it almost feels like a survival mechanism, or it was some habit to keep you stuck, and you realize that it wasn't working for you anymore. And so in the energy you're in now is releasing that grasp that your mind held of you, and really being able to face your fears and to move forward in a way where maybe you have never done in the past. There is this sort of like shedding that I'm seeing. It's like this weight was released off of you, which is allowing you to move forward. That's beautiful energy. What are the blocks that are coming up for this person? There's a decision you have to make. We have the Two of Wands here. So there is a block in moving forward because you have to choose your path, and it feels like this choice is weighing heavily on you in some way. It feels like this is something where you're kind of like planning for the future in the dark, and you're not sure which way to go. There's also Aries Mars energy here. Yeah, it's like, should I stay? Should I go? There's something about you really being ready to leave your comfort zone. And it's interesting because in the back of this imagery, I don't know if you can see it. It looks like the solar eclipse. So this may have been something that came up for you with this last solar eclipse. This idea of really being sick of what you've always experienced. Like there is some big decision or choice that you are trying to make, but you don't know which way to go. Is there any clarity you can offer with this Two of Wands? Any clarity you can offer? Okay. Page of Swords. Yeah. This is, even though there's like a choice you're being asked to make, and it can feel a little stressful in the sense of like I'm not sure which way to go. There is a feeling of this being exciting in some way because you know it's like new energy, and you're being asked to really remain curious here. Like allow yourself, it's kind of like what I was saying in the very beginning, allow yourself to ask for guidance and see what you get if you're unsure of which way to go. This is also about following your inspiration and being communicative, like being voicing your desires, voicing your wants, and really following your passion in some way. I know passion is more so of a wants energy, but it feels that way here. This is also you really allowing yourself to learn something new. I think you're ready to, in the past, it feels like you found a lot of confidence in, again, see, same thing, in knowing things, right? And now you're in a place where you're ready to learn again. You're ready to be in a space where someone has something to teach you instead of you feeling like you have to have all of the answers. This is where your expansion is, right? You're allowing yourself to learn something. So when it comes to this decision, it may be something that you're not used to doing, or something that you might be relatively new at. You may be asked to learn something or to sort of allow yourself to take a seat as a student here. And that's okay. I think there's, oh, devil in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I think there is a sense of you really detaching from old identities of yours and facing your shadows. There may have been a fear here somewhere of being unprepared. It was like Which makes sense. If control is something that you know you really would cling on to or find safety in, then you never really wanted to be caught off guard. And that spans across the board, right? Whether it was in your relationships, at work, in your day-to-day interactions, whatever it is, you always felt like you had to know everything in order to feel safe. And what you're realizing is you don't have to know everything. Who knows everything? All you need to do is trust in your ability to learn and to figure it out. And it feels like that might be such a simple reframe. And yet, for some of you, this is opening you up to a whole new world. Because in the past, again, mentally, you are closing yourself in to experiences and opportunities that you felt you knew what to do. And what you realized is, well, shit, I don't know what to do all the time. And that's okay. You can learn as you go. And surprisingly, you might know more than you think, but you were limiting yourself to experiences that you had always gone through, which for some of you may not have been great experiences. It was toxic cycles repeating over and over again. But again, you clung to that because you knew how to show up. You're being asked to show up differently now, and you're going to surprise yourself with how you are able to not just do whatever needs to be done, but I think you're also going to explore and learn about hidden talents and skills of yours that have not been acknowledged because it was never in an environment for it to flourish. Yeah, you're definitely reclaiming your power here. But a decision does have to be made. Like there is a choice here that needs to be decided on. Okay, what is this person releasing at this time? We touched a little bit on this, but what else? What are they releasing at this time? Ooh, hoo hoo hoo. Mm-hmm. Mm. You got the Page of Cups in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, and the Eight of Wands in reverse. Okay, I'm feeling a couple things with this. For some of you, this is going to correlate to your energy. For some, it's people around you, and for others, it's both. So, again, take it as it resonates. You're releasing a lot of emotional immaturity here. You're releasing a lot of emotional manipulation, emotional abuse. Again, with the Page of Cups in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse, there's a lot of emotions tied to this. Okay. Okay. So the Page of Cups in reverse, I'm feeling like is you. The King of Cups in reverse may also be you, but this was attributed to you from the way that you experienced some authority figure. It could have been a father figure, it could have been a mother, some sort of caretaker. I'm even hearing like a teacher for some of you. There was someone who was emotionally manipulative and abusive towards you, someone who may have been very selfish and withdrawn when it came to you. Also highly anxious, may have come off really moody or cold. There's Scorpio energy related to this. And that may have been something that you really attached to your identity. You thought you were the cause of this person's behavior, which was not true at all. Because of that, you started to harbor this Page of Cups energy in reverse, water energy here. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You would doubt yourself a lot. You doubted your intuition because, again, it feels like when you would listen to your intuition, this person would gaslight you or confuse you in ways to make you question yourself. This also created a lot of insecurity for yourself. And again, this feels like something that may have happened at a young age, and it may have occurred consistently throughout your life with different people. However, this really started at a young age, and it feels like it started with a parent. And then again, maybe you attracted friends or lovers who would continue to do this behavior. There was a lot of escapism that you would participate in order to try to make sense of your conflicting feelings. Because again, it feels like you would get an intuitive hit, you would get the guidance, the inner knowing. However, nothing around you was giving you evidence or proof that you were right. And for some, again, there were literal conflicting energy with the people around you when you would confront them. And so instead of recognizing it was them trying to protect themselves for whatever reason, you harbored that as, oh, I guess I was wrong, or I don't actually know, or maybe what I got wasn't right, which wasn't the case. You may have been neglected a lot as a child, and as an adult, you continue to neglect your inner child, which is the one that is giving you that guidance. Because again, children are incredibly tapped in. Children feel things much deeper than a lot of us do because they're still very connected to source. They're fresh. They're fresh over here, okay? So they sense things in a deeper way. And that may have been you as a child. However, you were around people who may have felt very threatened, quite frankly, by your ability to see things beyond what was shown. And so it created a deep core wound of breaking you away from that inner guidance and that knowing. And this entire journey up until now has been you reconnecting with that. So you are releasing any stories, narratives, ideas that you have held on to that continue to allow you to believe that you are this Page of Cups in reverse, that continue to make you doubt your intuition, your creativity, to create insecurity. There is something about this energy because we also have the Eight of Wands here. Oh, okay. Okay. So this energy has in the past caused you to hesitate in taking action on certain things. Again, because of the insecurities that you held on to, because of the doubt that you kept going back to. And with this Eight of Wands here, it feels like because you're releasing the idea of that energy or that energy in general, you are now feeling very confident in moving towards the things that you want to move towards. With the Eight of Wands, this is an energy of really quick movement and quick, fast communication. This is like incoming. Something is coming. There's rapid change here, immediate action. And this is good change. This is excitement. This is again, this feeling of releasing whatever was holding you down, which you're realizing you held the keys to this entire time. For some of you, you were like waiting for someone to apologize or for someone to give you permission to be who you are. And what you're realizing is they could have never given that to you because they never had that power to begin with. This King of Cups energy was not personal. It felt personal, especially if it started in childhood, but it was a projection. And because it was a projection, it had nothing to do with you. This King of Cups in reverse energy had their own shit that they were dealing with. And unfortunately, you were the one to absorb a lot of it. You've released that. Again, there is a sense that you are carrying a lot mentally with this Eight of Swords, which again, Eight of Swords, you got it reversed, but an upright is that self-inflicted prison of the mind. You held yourself captive based on the assumptions that you created on your worthiness and capabilities as a person based on how these people treated you. But you've released that. So now you're feeling confident and capable in moving forward. You're feeling confident and capable in asserting yourself and speaking up for yourself and going after the things that you really want to go after, regardless of the outcome. That's the other thing that you've released. You used to really need a predictable outcome to feel safe enough to go after something. And again, unrealistic because no one knows the outcome, not even you. The only way you know the outcome is if it's something that you're repeating a cycle of. And that's why we hold on to these sort of toxic environments, people, relationships, whatever else, because even though it's not what we want, it's familiar. And it's like, okay, well, I know how to show up for this because I know the ending already. So I just can go off my subconscious, this repetitive script that's sort of playing in the background instead of showing up differently. And you liked that because it provided a sense of safety. However, you released that now, and you've also released the fear attached to not knowing. Because at the end of the day, you know that whatever happens, you're going to show up and you're going to figure it out. And you would rather find out than stick to what you've always known, because at this point, your comfort zone is no longer comfortable. It's old and stagnant, and you may even be feeling repelled by it. And that can be, again, people, situations, relationships. It can even be your actual physical environment. You're feeling like this is a cage that I have outgrown and I'm ready for something new. All right. And then again, we have the Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So you, again, lots of swords energy. You were in your head. You stayed in your head because you didn't feel safe being in your body. So instead of actually participating in life, you played through your mind, which actually was not being engaging with life at all because you did not take action. You might have taken a couple steps here and there, but then it feels like you would also self-sabotage in some way so that when it came to you actually showing up in ways that you may not know how, you didn't get there. You wouldn't allow yourself to reach that point because you were too scared about what to do. You would get in your head way too much. There was paranoia, there was fear, there was depression, there was anxiety, there was all these what if scenarios. There was so many things that you talked yourself out of even taking the first step before finding out that you ruled yourself out. Again, protective mechanism. Yeah, see, strength in reverse, self-doubt, lack of confidence, feeling inadequate. My feet are falling asleep. Oh, oh man. Whew. There was a rebirth for sure with whoever this collective is. Oh, you are the butterfly. You are in that cocoon and you have come out. I love to see it. Yeah, someone made you feel temperance underneath. Someone made you feel inadequate. And it's low self-esteem. It's sad because it was never true. The actual truth was whoever was projecting this onto you had their own feelings of inadequacy. And instead of acknowledging that within themselves, they made it about you. And because you were too young to know better, you were like, well, I guess this is what it is. I guess that's the truth. But you've been undergoing a lot of healing. See, Four of Swords, just cut to it. You've been taking a lot of time to yourself. You may have been in hermit mode for quite a bit. Really, Ten of Pentacles, really trying to figure out like what is going on with me. Like, press pause. I need to regroup. I need to figure out Eight of Pentacles, self-mastery, really working on your craft so that you can create that Ten of Pentacles energy, which is legacy, which is a strong foundation. You saw the cracks. And instead of just trying to continue to build upon it and act like it was fine, you were like, no, tear this shit up and rebuild. Because what you're trying to build on top of it is big and it's long lasting. You weren't willing to sacrifice the longevity of your life and it's the quality of your life on things that had nothing to do with you. And you realized that they had nothing to do with you. So you course corrected and you took the time. It took patience. It took perseverance. It took resilience. It was not an easy journey up to this point, not in the least. Okay, let's get into some specific life areas. Again, this is how I structure my general one-on-one reading. So if you're interested in a one-on-one, hit that link below, get you right. All right, let's get some guidance on love and relationships for this collective. Ooh, career and finances. and personal and spiritual development. Lots of cards are coming out sideways, and I am flipping them to see which way they want to go, but you're definitely in a transition phase of like one foot in, one foot out, like old energy, new energy. Oh, okay. All right. So, with everything we've said up until this point, it feels like for some of you, if you're still here and this resonates with you, there's still some old energy that we're working through across the board. So for, ooh, excuse me. Ooh, releasing for sure. Excuse me. My goodness. For love and relationships, we have Eight of Pentacles and the Empress in reverse. For career and finances, we have the Eight of Cups showing up. Lots of eights, and it's an 8 year. Yeah, this is all karmically being put together. Eight of Cups and the Sun in reverse, and then personal development and spiritual and personal development, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. So a lot of reversals here. All right, for love and relationships, it feels like there's still some sort of insecurity here when it comes to love and relationships with you. And this feels connected to either a feminine in your life, it could be a mother, it could be your own feminine energy, it could be an ex or someone in the past who may have felt very smothering or negligent about your feelings. This is someone who could have also been really overbearing. This has created a fear for you when it comes to relationships that has allowed you to, mm, oh, okay. It feels like there was a feminine energy, and again, could be yours. It could be someone else, and then you adopted it within your own feminine energy and inner dialogue where they were highly critical of you. There was someone around you who always made you feel like you weren't enough, you weren't good enough in some way, and that has created a limiting belief for you with this Eight of Pentacles in reverse. It also created perfectionism for you. So you're afraid to grow in a relationship. You feel like you have to show up perfectly packaged and ready, fully healed, ready to go. If this resonates with you, here's your reminder. I have to give it to myself quite often as well, because this is transparently something I've dealt with for a long time. You do not have to be fully healed to be in a relationship. You being fully healed, I don't even know what that means. Life is constantly going to throw things at you. Okay. So, whatever that looks like or means with this benchmark that you've set for yourself, it's an illusion. You are worthy of a relationship, of intimacy, of companionship, of love where you're at now. Yes, should you take some time to like figure your shit out and face your shadows, do that shadow work? Yes. But does shadow work ever end? No. So if you've created these sort of unrealistic standards of where you should be before you can allow someone into your life in this way, you're holding yourself back, and it's that perfectionism that you're clinging on to and trying to um impose in your life. There is a sense of, again, for some of you, this is an excuse. This is part of your self-sabotage and your procrastination. You tell yourself, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. I have to A, B, C, and D, when that's not the case at all. It's actually that you are just scared, or, I mean, I'm just going to say it, lazy. Like, you understand that a relationship will require, it will ask of you perhaps more than you're willing to give. And if that's the case, then just say that, like to yourself, like be honest with yourself. I am not in a position to give any energy to anyone else or to a relationship. But this, like, oh, I'm not ready to, when are you ever ready for anything? This is the question I always ask myself and others when they say, I'm not ready. And how do you know you're ready for something you've never experienced before? You don't even know what it's going to ask of you. There is growth that is needed here. There is a honest conversation with yourself about what's truly holding you back. We have Venus energy here, of course. And again, we have some Virgo energy here. So highly critical, highly perfectionist sort of tendencies. Nothing is ever good enough. You're never good enough. You're always finding reasons or excuses when really it feels like the true reason that you are preventing yourself. I apologize if you can hear the gardeners in the background. You're preventing yourself from getting close to people because of that insecurity and that low self-worth that we talked about in the past. You're afraid of the intimacy. You're afraid of someone seeing you for who you are, for seeing your flaws, for seeing your daily habits that may not be the healthiest, for seeing you, when you have not put on your mask of this is who I am and this is how I show up. And oh my gosh, da, 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 da. You're afraid of someone loving you for you because you're not sure if anyone will. That is the fear here when it comes to love and relationships. And you're being asked to release, again, the stories that you have embodied as your identity of not being worthy of that type of love, that no one would love you with everything you bring with you. You're human. We all have baggage. It's not about showing up with nothing in there. It's about finding the right people who will sit with you and unpack with you and be patient with you. It's also about holding yourself accountable to being able to show up to a relationship, understanding you're not the only one who's going to have to unpack. Can you also show grace and patience to the other person? Are you able to be committed, to follow through, to have uncomfortable conversations, to face yourself and others? That's the real reason why people run from relationships, because you got to face some parts of yourselves, okay? Relationships, love is a spiritual experience and one that not a lot of people feel confident in doing unless they're in a relationship that allows them to continue wearing the mask that they've always worn. My crock pot is doing the most right now. Don't know if you can hear that. Okay, career and finances. We have Eight of Cups and the Sun in reverse. Some of you are moving on from a current career or line of work because you are not happy, to be quite frank. You are unfulfilled in your situation emotionally. There's a sense of being ready to let go and sort of walk into the unknown and see what crosses your path or try something different and try something new. Even though it's like it's not what you anticipated or expected, and there may be some sadness with this. There's also a sense of like optimism because now you've opened yourself up to so many other things. You're sort of ready to see what else there is, and you may kind of ping pong back and forth between like the optimism and the pessimism. Either way, there is delayed gratification here. There is blocked happiness here. And for some of you, you are coming to the realization that what you thought was meant for you is not actually filling you up. It's not giving you the soul sirens. All right. I'm getting a little overstimulated. There's a lot of noises happening right now, which I don't think you can hear. I hope not, but okay, yeah. For some of you, this is like a real quick shift when it comes to your career and finances. Something is changing. You've been stuck in some sort of energy for a really long time. Things have been blocked. Perhaps finances have been blocked. If finances have been blocked, it's related to your self-worth, values, and the way you perceive what you're capable of receiving, because money energy, Venus energy is also money, values, and relationships. It's not just like love and whatever else. So if you don't feel worthy you're also telling the universe, I am not worthy of receiving this abundance. I'm not worthy of receiving being taken care of. I'm not worthy of receiving this amount of praise, recognition, acknowledgement, any of these different things. So, what I'm feeling more strongly than anything is for some of you, you're moving on from one job to another. Like for some of you, this is a complete different career path. Again, you may be literally moving locations to start over, to try something new, to go down a different path. Some of you may have dipped your toes into something different recently for fun and realize that it gives you more happiness and gratification than what you've been doing, and you are going to allow yourself to explore it further. And when it comes to spiritual and personal development, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. This is a card of, again, indecision. So going back to that Two of Wands from the beginning, there's some sort of delay here. You may have been feeling a lot of resistance. Um, Again, victim mentality, stagnation, and it feels like it's you. We have the Page of Wands in reverse here at the bottom of the deck. Some of you are highly impatient, but you're also like, you're creating resistance because you think you know how things are supposed to go, and you're actually making it harder on yourself because you're not allowing things to happen. There is a sense that you're being kind of selfish with your the journey that you're on. You're also holding on to, again, some limiting beliefs here about yourself. You may be dealing with some um unreliable energy. Again, it's like one day you feel this way, the next day you feel this. It's like you cannot commit to a thought, let alone an action. And so you're being asked to really figure out what it is that you want for yourself. When you see your life and you see the big picture and you're happy and you're fulfilled, what does that look like? Who is around you? What are you doing? What are you spending your energy and time on? What does that look like? Your emotional fulfillment is going to be of the utmost importance here. And stop limiting yourself with, is that possible though? Is that real? Can I actually do this? Stop creating limitations for yourself, and also release the illusions that contribute to the resistance and indecision of feeling ill-equipped or incapable, inadequate of showing up for the life that you actually want for yourself. All right, before we close this out, let's get some words of wisdom here. Give it the time it needs. Clarity of mind also popping out. Practice, finding balance. Stop and let it all grow around you for a little bit. Be clear about what you want. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Some of you, and listen, I resonate with this, so I get it. Some of you have learned to live on the extremes. You're all in or all out. It's black or white, it's this or that. And what you're learning is there's beauty in finding balance between the two. Even with these readings, I was thinking to myself, like, I really got to find balance with these readings because I'm either like really on it, like boom, 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 doing the most, and then I burn out and then I do nothing. And it's like, well, it doesn't have to be either or. You can find a way to still be able to show up for people and do what you love doing without making it so that you burn out all the time. Practice. Give yourself room to figure it out. It's okay if you don't show up knowing how to do the thing right away. Stop and let it all grow around you for a little bit. Give yourself the gift of patience. Give yourself the gift of time, of stillness, of allowing yourself to move when you feel called to move, to gain the insight and awareness, to gain the guidance, to ask for help and practice. You don't know what you're capable of until you put yourself in the position to find out. Find the balance in everything. Notice where you're leaning too far onto one end or the other. The extremes are always going to burn you out and make you unable to feel like you can do something because you're putting yourself up to unrealistic expectations. Manage your expectations. Give yourself room to grow. Give yourself room to figure it out, to find your place without all automatically expecting yourself to be a master and know what to do. Again, back to the beginning. This was the limiting belief. This was the self-sabotage cycle. This was part of that old identity that prevented you from showing up at all. That's what you're breaking away from now. Give yourself room to experience all that you can be by putting yourself in positions that you may not normally put yourself in. That's when you learn who you are. That's when you know who you are. And knowing who you are in this world is a luxury. Thank you guys for your trust, for sticking around, for being patient with me as I move through my own journey. And once again, all of the information and details for everything I mentioned during this reading is in the description below. I hope to be able to do more of this in a way that doesn't burn me out. I hope to find the balance myself. So thank you, and we'll talk soon.